Ron Siegel, live in studio. Your look that
and hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest, Joe Palacio, Network Partners Insurance Services. Welcome.
Hello, Ron.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
A little slow there, guys. Well, I have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money. I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And, of course, we are celebrating today. You know, we had National Bourbon Day yesterday. So today, how do you top National Bourbon Day? Well, I think we had strawberry shortcake to go with that bourbon, so that kind of helps a little bit. But today we've got several items to celebrate. Well, we celebrate a lot every day, especially being that we're on the proper side of the sidewalk. But here we go. We're looking at National Smile Power Day today. No excitement there. National Photography Day.
This is ridiculous.
National Dump the Pump Day. I don't even know what the heck that one means.
You're absolutely useless.
But I can get into this one, so we are going to celebrate National. I got to get the guys. Got to get the guys rolling here. So we're gonna now. I thought we celebrated this last month. Generally May. National Lobster Day, which we have to coordinate this. We got to get the Yorba Linda Chamber of Commerce a little bit more up to date on what's going on, because Lobster Fest was last month. And boy, if you missed that, you missed a great time. Not only did our group, we even had a lobster eating contest. How about that one? A lobster eating contest to see who could eat the most lobsters. I think the tap out was at 5 this year. Our team got a little weak. There was someone that did 7 last year, so we're just chatting about it a little bit here. But that National Lobster Day, that is today. So enjoy, indulge, have a lobster. Think about me when you're having one, or just send one my way. Either way, it works just as well for me. Moving right along, we are looking at the markets this morning for you as well. So where are we seeing the markets going? Markets have recovered a bit. They were down about 80 points at the open today. We're down 27 points right now. Oil down 18 cents a barrel, although that doesn't help us too much in Taxifornia. National average of a tank of gasoline, $2.31.8. We are at $3.03 a gallon in the state of confusion here. Maybe we can find another tax we can put on it. I think that leave it to the governor. He'll find a tax for everything. Kind of like our mayor here in the city of Anaheim. Whatever they can do to tax, they're happy with. We are also looking at the 10-year yield. That's recovered a little bit from yesterday, but it's a 2.162. That is not something our seniors want to hear about. That's, I guess, our guys on the boards, boy, a little slow on that. We'll probably get an interruption here in a minute about following through on what our seniors are thinking about the 10-year Treasury. Moving right along here. We did get the Freddie Mac mortgage market rates this morning. They come out every Thursday morning. Remember, they are a bit even though they come out every Thursday morning, here's the way they work. Freddie Mac sends out their surveys. They collect the data Monday through Wednesday of the week. Now, most of the companies just send it back and they want to be done with it right first thing on Monday, so they don't have to think about it. Well, by the time Thursday comes along with the markets moving as much as they move every single hour, figure when I mentioned to you a minute ago what the Dow Jones, it was down about 20 points. Right now it's down about 30 points. So that's how quick the markets move. Does the same thing on the mortgage rates, but we are seeing right now, as of the release this morning, 3.91 is the 30-year fixed rate price. Pay a half a point to get it. Up just a little bit from last week at 3.89. But then again, yesterday was a good day in the bond market, so rates dropped a little bit more yesterday. I would assume that if they had collected that data a little later, we would have had a different result there. But that is the 30-year fixed rate bond pricing. A little bit of news that goes behind that. The May industrial production was flat from April. Jobless claims, 237,000. That was about what was expected. The Philly Fed Regional Manufacturing Index, 27.6. Pretty close to what was expected there as well. So nothing exciting going on in the statistics numbers. But here's the issue, and this is where we're going to really get into it over time, is we're just not seeing the movement as quickly as the markets had projected from the Trump administration. Now, you're hearing a lot of noise, and obviously with the, it's just amazing the noise that we can hear out of Washington. And some of, well, actually one of the, I guess most of the real rhetoric comes out of the state of confusion. Think about this concept. I mean, we had Kamala Harris now. Think about, I mean, it just fascinates me. The junior senator from the state of California now claiming sexism because she's rude. Now, figure that out. How does that work? She's the leadership of the Congress, of the Senate, is sexist because she asks a question and doesn't want somebody to answer it. Now, why does she go to these? I don't know why she's there. She can probably get her time on TV to give a speech, can't she? Well, maybe nobody wants to listen. So when she goes into the hearings in the Judicial Committee, so when Rod Rosenstein was in, she interrupts him so he can't answer her question. When General Sessions, or Secretary General, or Attorney General Sessions was in, she interrupts him so he can't answer her questions. And there was one other whom she also interrupted, so they couldn't answer her questions. And then she goes out and puts out a tweet and tries to raise money on the fact that all these people are sexist because she's rude. I don't think she put in there that she's rude. That might have just been something that I threw in just because it's a fact. Now, unbelievable how this rhetoric goes. You see less than, and nobody can condone the horrific acts of yesterday morning, a lunatic, out there shooting the representatives, the congressional representatives. But think about some of where our country has gone to, the rhetoric. I don't know about you, I go on Facebook on a regular basis and I take a look at what's going on and what people have to say. And there's no such thing as respectful debate. The debate has to be incensed. It's amazing how this goes on all the time, where it's not a matter of disliking the president's his policies. And I, for one, was a very, very outspoken dissenter of President Obama's policies. I didn't have to show a picture of him decapitated to dissent. I didn't have to support some Shakespeare play to show some sort of dissent. Didn't have to do any of those things. But nowadays, that seems like that's the idea of the far left, is let's see if we can, how horrific we can make things, how incensed we can get. And then you wonder, why is it that there are people that take actions? You get Madonna saying about blowing up the White House. Now we see that this shooter, this murderer yesterday, or attempted murderer, attempted assassination, he's got all this information right there on his social media profile. It wouldn't have been too difficult to find out that he felt that the president should be destroyed, was his word. Well, why is it? The president has done nothing other than, and I've said this about President Obama as well. President Obama did exactly what he was elected to do. Whether you like it or not, He came in saying he wanted to transform America. And that was what his policies did. Why would somebody get upset when they do exactly what they say they're going to do? President Trump came in saying he was going to do the exact opposite. That's what he was elected to do, was the exact opposite. Why be upset when he's doing exactly what he was elected to do? Now, if you don't like the policies, you have a solution. You can vote for Kamala Harris. You can vote for Maxine Waters. You can vote for Bernie Sanders. That's the way we do it in our country. We don't go out there and say, you know something, I think I want to kill the man. That does not make any sense. That's lunacy. Get out there and, if you want to be a peaceful protester, that does not mean blocking streets so other people cannot get to work. It does not mean blocking somebody from having a speech because you don't like what they have to say. In most instances, the only thing that's being proven by all these protesters is they're not smart enough to have an intellectual debate. That's all they've proven with all of this dissent, is they're not smart enough for an intellectual debate. Let's get on with it. Let's see if we can get this to a point where people listen to one another, listen to the different points of view, and then debate it. And then at the end of the day, you have a vote, and you see where the majority is, not where just a select few are. Just one individual's perspective there. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to be talking about Medicare. We know that Obamacare is imploding, but we need solutions. So we're going to talk to Joe Palacio about Medicare. What is the best Medicare plan? Is the best Medicare plan for you the same as the best Medicare plan for your neighbor? I'm not sure it is, but I think Joe might have a better answer for that one. Are home prices approaching bubble territory? Credit cards for bad credit, and they offer rewards. We'll talk about that. Best cities for new college grads. We've got a lot to get to, so let's get on with it. You can reach us anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, and on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you seeing a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Score 100. Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply what you can afford? If the answer to any questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text AT to 7964. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is T to 9564.
What your family business could help clothe a passionate family? Your restaurant could feed truly hungry people. What if you could help to comfort the lonely? And sustainable resources where nothing has ever grown before. Or make a child's life wish come true. All you have to do is simply do nothing more your business already does every day. Would you do it? Introducing Processing for Cause, a unique program that turns a percentage of your credit card volume into ongoing donation dollars from non-profit organizations and foundations. Switch credit card processing provider to Processing for a Cause and begin supporting the cause today. The process is simple. Cause change lives forever. Processing for a Cause.
Are you around and need money? Siegel Lending Team is here to refinance and get the money you need. The VA 100 borrow up to 100% at home value. Refinance your mortgages, credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than credit score. 800-306-190. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the Department of Corporations, NMLS 03 or 016452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of our VIP heroes, and we have rewards of $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Visit VIPprogram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partner Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home Finance Show with local national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio, or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990 in the real-time real estate segment today, being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. One of the real estate professionals will reach out to you to get you the true equity position of your home. Actually, they can also get you on that free app they have as well. That'll tell you when homes in your neighborhood have sold, so you can get the price of those homes if you're a nosy neighbor like me and want to know what everything's selling for. You get that. Or if you're looking for a new home, there's some great tools on there for that as well. The question this morning for our real-time real estate segment is, are home prices approaching bubble territory? And we've talked about this quite a bit in the past, though, but I still see the same questions coming up, same commentary coming up. And as home values continue to rise, some are questioning this. Well, Zillow just reported that national home values have surpassed the peak hit during the housing bubble, and at their highest value in more than a decade. And that might be correct, but maybe there's more to the story. That might be a great headline, but do you understand the basis of it? So let's think about this concept. And if you look at a chart and I've got the chart, I've posted it on our social media channels, of 2000 through today. And you'll see where the peak of the market was. You'll see where the bubble burst. And you can see the prices did go up significantly in the early 2000s, fell during the crash, and have risen since 2013. However, the markets always go through these different cycles. And if we look back to we can look back 30, 40, 50 years, and we know that historically, real estate appreciates at 3.6% every single year. So if we take the exact same chart of the bubble, the burst, and where we are today, and from the year 2000 through today, and we just apply a straight flat line of 3.6% appreciation. Well, we see the bubble years, they exceeded. We see the burst years, they declined. But we would be just about at the same exact value we are today if you just did that same straight historical pattern. The bubbles and the bursts, they happen over time. The worst thing, and I shared this with you while it was going on, it wasn't something that I've just tell you now. Basically, when you think about any kind of a cycle in real estate, this is not Ron Siegel Radio history lesson, or this is not from my own research. I'm just a simple guy, right? So if you listen to our friends over at Chapman University, 54 months from the start of a issue of a recession, 54 months to the bottom, 54 months gets you right back to parity. Just follow the history. And you look right now, 2000 through 2017, and you can look at the chart, and it's pretty much right on line. There's not a huge difference there. We've got it on our social media channels, so you can see it as well. If you want more information, call me 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Now, if you are one of our seniors, sometimes you look at these things and you say, what do you do with it? Because if you were a senior thinking that I have to sell my house and the year is 2012, well, there are methods of protecting your equity. A lot of the seniors don't want to hear the methods because they lived in 1980 when the program was a little different. But there are methods to protect your equity. I'll talk about that later on in the broadcast. But one of the things we also want you to be protected is health care. And that is why Joe Palacio is with us to chat about Medicare. Good morning, Joe.
Morning, Ron.
Glad to have you with us. So let's, very, very basic for a simple guy like me. Mm-hmm. At what age do I qualify for, the very first time I qualify for Medicare?
Well, there's two populations. One is if you're disabled for at least 2 years and you're under 65, you can qualify for Medicare. And then also someone that's 64 turning 65 qualifies for Medicare also. So we're all paying into this through the FICA payroll tax item on your paycheck, Federal Income Contribution Act.
So it's not a charity, it's something we pay for.
Right.
Unfortunately, in many instances, we also vote for the people that spend it inappropriately. But that's a different story. Okay, so basically 64, 65, you're in. Now, so you can start getting Social Security if you want to at 62.
Correct.
But Medicare doesn't kick in until a little later.
Correct.
Okay, so we got. Now I hear about, the Medicare alphabet, and I guess in many instances it seems like a lot of folks forget their alphabet. It only goes up to F or something like that. I don't know.
Well, there's
A, B, C, D.
B, C, and D.
Okay.
So A is your hospital benefit.
Okay. Now.
So anything that's inpatient, so hospital, skilled nursing facility, hospice, that is your Part A hospital benefit, federal health insurance. Part B.
Now, do I have to pay extra for that, or is that something that comes because I got old?
Correct.
I got old, so I get it.
Yes.
Okay, so there's no cost to that one.
There's no cost to that, and there's no premium per month for that Part A hospital, although there is a deductible of approximately $1,300. And how do you not pay that $1,300 is why you come to a trusted broker like myself to figure out a plan to cover those deductibles, co-insurance, and co-payments.
Okay, so the concept of our seniors just being left out in the cold instead of going to a hospital when they need it, that's off the table because of this.
Correct.
Now let me ask you this other part of it, because you said you pay it through our FICA taxes and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Does that mean that the government employees are part of this program as well, or is that only the non-government employees?
I don't know.
Okay.
You'll have to look at their paycheck and see if they're paying into it.
Okay, so it's because I know that there's some people qualify for Social Security and some don't, right?
Right.
So it just depends. So you got to just look at your benefit plan.
Yep.
Got it. Okay, so now let's move on. Now that I almost understand A, let's go to B.
B is your doctor, so your primary care physician, family doctor, your specialist, your pulmonologist, cardiologist, endocrinologist, and then also your lab work, so lipid draws, blood draws, MRIs, CAT scans, X-rays, CT scans. So that's all outpatient. So anything that's outpatient, even outpatient surgery, you go in for 1 day, you come out, that's considered outpatient. So Part B is your medical, it's called, and there is a premium for that. In 2017, it's $134. Now, people get confused because they think that $134 is what they're paying for the supplement.
$134 a month?
Yes, per month.
Okay.
For Part B premium, you're paying the federal government that money to pay for Part B.
Okay. So, and is that something that's optional, or everybody has to pay?
Everybody has to pay, and it depends. It can go up depending on your income also. I have a friend of mine, he and his wife make pretty decent money, and he's paying $400 and change a month, per month for Part B. Now, that's not common. I mean, that's on the high end. That's about the max you're going to pay because of your income bracket. Majority of people are going to pay the $134
now
for Part B a month.
They said that you have to pay it.
Yep. Although if you're Medicare or Medi-Cal, so if you're low income, low resources, you don't have to pay that $134.
But what if you've got a benefit from like prior employment where you've got lifetime medical coverage?
That's a great question. That's a great point, because we actually were speaking with somebody that's continuing to work. They're going to continue to work after 65, and they have employer health insurance,
right, or
retirement group health insurance.
Right.
It's a great idea to meet with an independent broker to do a cost analysis, because the gentleman, the husband and wife we met last night, they're paying over $800 for their group health insurance for both of them. They can pay about $300, a little bit more than $300 for a Medicare option.
Okay.
So if you do a cost analysis, and the insurance is usually as good or maybe even better.
That's what I was going to ask you. What about coverages? Because, you know, I'm a small government kind of guy, right? So I wonder, are they going to make me be buying things that I don't really need versus the things that I really want, or is you said it is a better coverage
for Medicare? I can't say better because I've done analysis where the group plan it's $50 a month and it's as good as what I can offer them on the Medicare side. So I don't if I can't improve their situation, I'll just say you stay there. It's a great plan. You're paying really low price.
And that's what I really want to hear, Joe, and that's why I like to have you come on to share this, even when it's not a, you know, like you said to me when we were getting ready for the broadcast, that there's not a whole lot new right now.
Right.
But there's new people listening to us. So that's where the beauty of this is that, you know, just because, and we haven't even got there yet, I remember years ago my father-in-law did some studying, and he said in his situation, I think he said the D program was the best one for him. But that doesn't mean that was what the best one was for my mother-in-law.
Correct.
Right, so let's move on.
Yeah.
So what do we got to see here?
Yeah, so C is also, it means all the same thing. Part C is the same as Medicare Advantage Plan, or MAPD, Medicare Advantage Plan, or HMO. So that is one option that someone has when they're 64 turning 65, or they're 67 and say they're coming off a group plan and they're shopping around for options. And that is an HMO that is offered by carriers such as Humana, Health Net, Blue Shield, Aetna, Anthem, Scan.
Now, let me ask you, while you just mentioned those companies, we were hearing a lot in the news that those companies are dropping out of certain states based on the Affordable Care Act. Is that completely separate from what we're talking about with Medicare?
Great question, Ron. Yeah, so common question we're getting is, how is this going to affect Medicare? How is this going to affect my options to get a supplement or a Medicare Advantage plan? And it's not. It's more for the individual younger person that's, you know, signing up for Recovered California. That's,
great.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. We're going to talk more about this because I've only been able, you know, I can't handle too much at a time, Joe, so I can get through ABC maybe in one segment. We'll work on the rest of them when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. More with Joe Palacio. When we come back, we will also talk about credit cards for bad credit and cities for new college grads. What are the best ones? We'll talk about all that and more. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Team offers you buying power that you can afford a mortgage payment, including principal interest of around $900. It's great on 30 fixed mortgage of 3.75%, or 3.8%. That could support $16,000 mortgage. You wait, and rates tend to go around 4.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage over the past 30 years. That same $1,900 mortgage payment, including full and interest, may only be able to afford $340,000 mortgage. That's for $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That buying power. All you get started is reach out to the CNC 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGELLendingTeam.com. Payment example includes tax and insurance. Call us for full detail. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Full housing license and ML number 217037.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investment? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP 994. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey. Area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you purchasing or owning a luxury home? If you're any others, your home is your largest asset, mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team is amazing financing opportunities right now. Jump loans up to $2 million, 30 years below 4%, 50 year rates 3.5, and if you can believe it, in hybrid low 3s. Siegel Lending Team has all options for your or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more, all the other finance products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without limit. ICA and MLSI 21037 and 452 Equal Housing Lender.
Do you own real estate or have assets over $150,000? You know one of your heirs will be the probate courts and the IRS. See that living trust, you will go through probate. Call Heritage Financial Service toll free at 1-855-434-700 for a free review. Check us out on Facebook. Heritage Financial Service in Lake Forest, California. That's 1-855-434-7400. Again, 1-855-434-7400.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. And as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. In the Your Credit Matters segment today, being brought to you by AskAboutReverseMortgages.com. If you're over 62 years of age, and I talked about this, the bubble in the last segment, when we legitimately had a bubble in 2004 to 2012, basically. You had the bubble, the burst, all that kind of good stuff, or trying stuff. I shouldn't say good stuff, holy cow. But here's the question, here's the issue. If you had a reverse mortgage before that, your equity might have been protected. The reverse mortgage does protect equity, so be cognizant of it. A lot of people don't understand that part of the product. They think, oh, we're going to give away our house or somebody's going to take our house. And no, that product went away in the 1980s. President Reagan got rid of that. So nowadays, the reverse mortgage, manage your taxes. You might be able to manage your Social Security benefits better. You can protect equity if it's done right. It doesn't cost a lot of money to do it. Think about all those different options. What are the, I've told you before, I lead a lending team. That's the only product we have that has an optional payment. You make a payment or you don't make a payment, and you're not in default either way. Think about that concept. Now, this may not tie in right in, but there are credit cards out there for those folks that don't have the stellar credit, and I thought I would share a couple of those with you. Here's the issue. If you have bad credit, you may think you're automatically unqualified for credits that offer cash back or travel rewards. But many cards, that may not be true. The Discover It Secured card gives you 2% cash back. Credit One Bank Cash Back Rewards Visa, that's a mouthful. But that one there will also give you some credit back. Aero Mexico Visa Secured card. I don't think they're going to devalue your balance, but they may. Well, it's Mexico, so you just don't always know. But it gets you frequent flyer miles going to Mexico. Think about those. So one of the things you want to know is look at how you're choosing those rewards cards. You don't want to be overpaying for the fees to get the card. You don't want to be overpaying for the interest. Be very, very careful on them. The annual fees can eat you up. But here's the idea. Use them properly. Make the 2 payments that I've told you strategically every single month, and get your credit scores increased. Then you may decide that you want to get away from these cards, get into something a little more traditional. We call that a game plan. And we use game plans at Ron Siegel Radio all the time just because life happens. And you need to understand what you're doing, where you're doing it. I shared that this segment is being brought to you by AskAboutReverseMortgages.com. I talk to folks with regard to Social Security benefits all the time. If you take your Social Security benefits at age 62 versus age 70 and a half, that basically is a $500,000 decision. $500,000 decision? What if you started using your equity in your property in taking some living benefit from your property during that same time period? Pay it back later on if you wish, but let your Social Security increase for all those years by using a strategy. Game planning, that's the idea. That is the Your Credit Matters segment, again, brought to you by askaboutreversemortgages.com. So we're chatting today. Joe Palacio is with us. He is our in-house or in-studio expert on Medicare benefits, and we're just trying now. I want to throw this out, and Joe and I haven't even talked about this part of it yet, but I want you to understand something. There are many programs. We're talking about, we've only got through the first 3 letters of the alphabet so far with Joe. I might be able of getting a couple more letters, but here's the issue. We're trying to give you a very basic understanding. Now I'm going to ask Joe in a minute. I'll give him some time to count. He might have to take his shoes off on this one, Joe. But he goes and studies this stuff all the time. To be able to do these things that the experts do in these arenas, they have to go to continuing education. They've got to go to seminars. They've got to go to lectures. They've got to study the craft. Now, if you are 62 years of age, I guess I better go back to my notes here because I'm a little slow, Joe. If you're 64 turning 65, is the words Joe used, then you may be qualifying. You might even, when you're maybe just at 64, give a call and talk to Joe so you understand before crunch time what you need to be doing. But Joe, the concept here, remember that goes back to the game planning again, but give me an idea what kind of studies you have to do on an ongoing basis to keep up with the 5 letters of the alphabet and then the 15 or 20 different companies that are out there. It's not a one-size-fits-all, is it?
No. So we as an independent broker, and I'm contracted and certified to sell quite a bit of them. I'm not a captive agent, so I work for the customers. I don't work for Medicare, nor do I work for the insurance companies. I work for the consumer. And so we have to certify every year, AHIP. We have to take a lot of tests regarding compliance. We have to learn the new benefits. And your question again was?
Basically, it's a lot of education.
Yes,
is it days, hours, weeks, months?
Hours, sometimes months.
Okay.
Up to the new benefits that are coming up for 2018. This will start in a month or 2 as the training. So leading up to open enrollment, which is October 15th to December 7th.
So you're going to all kinds of training. So
correct.
Again, I don't want anybody to think that Joe's giving you specific advice here. Now, he will give you specific advice. You just have to call him. And we'll have his number available. You can call me at 800-306-1990. But, Joe, I think we got to part of C.
Yes,
right? We were talking about the HMO and the Medicare Advantage plan.
It equals C.
Okay.
Yeah, so it all means the same thing. And
is that a variable price program, or is that a fixed price on that one?
For
C.
For C, the nice thing about the HMO is that it's most of the time, especially in Orange County, it's a 0 premium. So it's 0 premium per month, and that's people say, well, wait a minute, what's the catch? Well, the catch is you've been paying into the system, and the 134 also supplements that 0 premium.
Okay.
So that you're paying the government, the federal government, the 134.
Okay, so you get B and C for 134 a month.
Yes.
Okay.
A, B, and C.
A, B, and C.
Yeah. So A and B is original Medicare. That's only going to be covering 80% of medically necessary services for the Part B portion.
Okay.
Now you're adding the C to minimize a financial risk if you did not have that HMO or Medicare Advantage plan.
Okay.
So now you're covered the 20% that you were responsible for. Now that's covered.
So now that's covered with C.
And the hospital deductible,
okay,
and the Part B deductible, and some co-payments, co-insurance, and deductibles. So now A, B, and C. That is what we put people into right there. That's one option.
Okay.
There is another option.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
The other option is a supplement, a Medicare supplement.
Is that what they call D?
No, those letters, those are either, there's like A, there's a ton of them. I'm only going to mention 3.
Okay.
F as in Frank, G, and N as in Nancy. And those are the 3 that I would sell.
Okay.
F is the most popular. Most people are put in there, but the cost for a supplement is about $160 to $190, depending on the insurance company.
Now, is that on top of the 134? Or instead
yes. So add 134, add the...
Okay, the 160 to 190.
Right.
Okay.
And then, with that, then you have to go purchase a standalone drug plan, a Part D. So you have 3 components for that second option. Okay, so you have Part A and B, you have a supplement, and then you have a standalone drug plan, which can be anywhere from $17 to $34. That's kind of a range. That's not including, if you're taking a lot of medications, it could increase, the co-payments could increase the amount.
Now, are you fixed into one of these plans, or can you change every year?
Great question. So, for the HMO, you can, usually it's open enrollment only.
Okay.
October 15th to December 7th. For the Medicare Advantage plan. Although, if for some reason you have a qualifying event, like say you move from Riverside, I had a couple move, a husband and wife move from San Bernardino County to Orange County, and that opened up what's called a special enrollment period, SEP.
Okay.
Now they're looking, now I'm going to be putting them, I just signed them up for a plan.
Great.
Locally here. So they can make changes outside depending on the qualifying event.
Now, I've had some people mention to me that if you stay in one program, if you get into a program and stay in there for life, it's really going to be, it makes it more a cheaper process for you. Is that?
That's, no, if you're in the Medicare Advantage plan situation, the HMO, where you're paying $134, you're put in a plan, it could be great for you for your needs for a year or two. But say something happens with your health and you're taking a high cost medication, a branded prescription, it may not be the best fit for you now. So during open enrollment, you meet with a broker and we can do an analysis, and maybe what was good for you 3 or 4 years ago is not the best fit for you, and maybe another company, it may be a better fit. So you're not locked in for life. If you stay there, you don't necessarily...
It's not like you get a discount or something, but what is one of the companies that, not in the Medicare world, but they say if you're in the auto insurance, right, if you're every year your price goes down or your deductible goes down or something like that. That's not the case in this. No. Okay.
So although the supplement, now the difference between the two options is that the one below is going to be expensive. It's going to be anywhere from $300 to $350 a month.
That would be what, G or N?
With the F, we'll go high. So F, and then you pay the $134 plus the drug plan. So the nice thing about that supplement is that you have direct access to doctors that take Medicare. There's no referrals, so you can go to see a cardiologist, rheumatologist, endocrinologist directly without having to go to your primary care first to get a referral to go see a specialist.
Holy cow! But that can get, you talk $300 for that, $134 for B.
Correct. So it just depends on what you want. There's no right or wrong, like you mentioned earlier in the program. There's no right or wrong way.
Okay.
It's just if you have money, you may want to go the supplement, drug plan, original Medicare. If you want to save money and you see all your doctors, like say at St. Joe's, then maybe the HMO may be the better fit.
Okay, we're going to chat more with Joe when we come back on this one. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. More on our Medicare discussion. See, I knew that I was a simple guy, and I need a map on this stuff, but we're going to talk more with Joe, and we'll also talk about the best cities for new college grads in 2017. You can reach us anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, and on Twitter @Ron Siegel. If you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of dreams, simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 100? The answer to any of these questions is no. What are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the air-trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 9564.
Isn't it time you found out the truth about FHA home equity conversion? Don't let your grandfather's mortgage. It can be the best financial planning strategy available for all homeowners of retirement age. Helping protect what you've earned is the job of your board of directors with continued education. Major research has shown that using a HECM will significantly enhance
the success rate of a retirement portfolio and legacy. Please allow us to educate or for a complimentary consultation. Call Jay Kaplan at 949-300-3845. That's 949-300-3855.
Do you currently rent a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan of 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home. Have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Your family deserves the opportunity to take advantage of the current market. To learn more about exciting opportunities, the Siegel lending team is standing by to speak to you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. SIGE lendingteam.com. 1-800-306-1990. Rates that change without notice. Rates by MLID 217037 and 4502. Equal housing lending, not a sponsored and government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $500 every month, $30,000 per year? Mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel team at 800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending them a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you an obligation real estate plan. You judge if this is for your family. Again, all you have to do is team a copy of mortgage email to REAE@RonSiegelRadio.com or call today. Ron 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990.
Licensed by the California Coast and BRENF 21703 and 552. Cal BR 1-864-26775.
You're listening to Siegel's Home and Finance Show. Local national expert Ron Siegel. Now, Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio, or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. In the Mortgage Minute today, brought to you by Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, any mortgage, Gold Star has the programs for you. Just give me a call at 800-306-1990. I will put you in touch with the right folks over at Gold Star so you can get the programs that are best for you. The best cities for new college grads. For many, going away to college provides the chance to live a life without parental restrictions. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. I guess if you've got the foundation set up well from mom and dad, it's probably a good thing. Curfews, allowances, yeah, you don't have to worry about some of those things. You probably need the allowance. Got to call mom and dad for money. But after those 4 years are up, an even bigger change lies ahead for new college grads. Unless you move back in with your parents, a life of buying your own groceries, paying rent, utility bills awaits you for the third consecutive year. We take a look at some of these best cities for new college grads. So we look at, and you got to remember, we take a look at these best cities, and they don't necessarily mean it's where you really want to live, but they are the best cities for graduates. Cincinnati, Ohio topped the list. Columbus, Ohio was number 2. I could deal with Nashville, Tennessee, San Antonio, Texas, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Seattle, Washington, Lexington, Kentucky, easy for me to say. Austin, Texas is next on the list. Boston, Massachusetts, St. Louis, Missouri. Tongue-tied a little bit today. So these are all based on where the jobs are, where the affordability is, where the fun is. All that stuff goes into the formula to figure out those cities for our young people. That is the Mortgage Minute, again brought to you by Gold Star Mortgage. Continuing our conversation with Joe Palacio, we're talking Medicare today. So we got through A, B, C, F. We talked a little bit about G, N, D. we didn't go to college, so we probably don't have these in sequential order, and we kind of skip around.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe. So we got all this stuff going on. Can I do this online? Can I get all this stuff online?
You can go on our website.
Okay.
You mean to get educated on?
Yeah. The thing that I wonder about all the time is a lot of seniors, or in many instances, seniors lived through. Some even through the Depression years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's not a lot of them left. But they also went through the Great Recession. So we had the Depression, the Great Recession, and they look and they say they always are concerned about the idea of costs, right? And they try and look this stuff up themselves, or they go to the best reference guide they have, their neighbor. Right? And they come up with a solution. But what does it cost for somebody to come to you to get a consultation?
Great question. There's no cost. We can't charge as an independent broker. I can't charge them anything. I can spend an hour, 2 hours with somebody, and they can decide to work with me or not work with me. But I do have a sheet that I use. It's about 6 or 7 pages, takes about 15 or 20 minutes, and it's a full needs assessment. And I look at their primary care physicians, their health, if they see any specialists. I took a look at their geographical area, and the most important thing is their medication list, because that really decides on which plan is the best fit for them. If they're not taking that many medications, it's a pretty easy case. We just kind of fine-tune it, whether they need dental, vision, acupuncture, chiropractor, so there's other ancillary benefits to look at. Silver Sneakers, it's a free gym membership that most of the plans offer.
Okay.
So we were talking to that couple. I was helping a guy out the other day, and he's paying $60 for he and his wife. The Silver Sneakers is going to pick that up. So they're going to cancel their LA Fitness not membership, but cancel the cost.
Right.
And they're going to be able to go to the gym at no cost because of the Silver Sneaker benefit that is in that plan.
And is it a special gym that they have to go to, or can they go to the same ones they've been going to?
Great question. I have a gentleman down in Westminster, Huntington Beach area, a real estate friend of mine, goes to LA Fitness one day, 24-hour Fitness the next, and I think kind of a smaller one the next day. So he has 3 different gyms that he goes in 1 week, and that company that we sign him up for allows him to do that with that Silver Sneaker benefit.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty neat.
Yeah. So how often, two questions that come to mind. Number one, husband and wife, will they be necessarily have the same programs if they're two individuals?
Great question. The case I was working on the other day, one of my customers was great for the Blue Shield plan. The other one was a Health Net because of the medication profile.
Okay, so they can end up on 2 completely different
right,
budgets.
because you're talking about cost.
Right.
If I put her in that Blue Shield plan, nothing wrong with Blue Shield, it's just it would have increased her out-of-pocket cost for the medication she's on. So it comes down to, like you said, the cost. So we're doing a cost analysis.
So I like that idea. What that really demonstrates, if two spouses, one has one program, the other has the other program, and that's what's best for each of them, then the likelihood is that if I talk to my neighbor, they've probably got a different needs list than I have.
Yes.
So just because they found out what was good for them doesn't mean that it's necessarily good for me.
Correct. I've had people tell me my mother-in-law or my neighbor has Scan or Humana, and they love it. And then I do a full needs analysis. I sit down with them, and it's not what's the best fit for them.
It's not appropriate.
Yeah.
So and it doesn't mean one's good or one's bad. It just means that they're different.
Yep.
Right?
They're all great plans. It's just who fits into that plan the best.
Interesting. And then the other part of it also has to do with checking and comparing. And this is what I really value with you, Joe, is that when you look at what the pension plan might be, or your departing business, or if you're still working,
right.
You know, the right solution may be that stay where you are and do absolutely nothing. And you're giving that kind of guidance as well.
Correct. Yep.
You know, if that's what benefits.
My motto is, if I can't improve their situation, I won't touch where they are. So.
Which is probably why people come back to you.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. I mean, and refer their friends, because if it's going to cost me nothing, I'm going to get this comprehensive analysis or assessment.
Correct.
And I'm going to be told whether I need something or nothing.
Correct.
It's like a trifecta.
Yeah, there's no risk.
Yeah, exactly. Now you do some consulting with Social Security too, right?
Yes, my business partner Matt.
Okay.
Matt Kershaw is a National Social Security Advisor. So he's actually.
So you guys do that within the
and
team,
and it's a free consultation. Yeah. So it actually.
So you guys can help on a lot of different fronts. Now, do you do this all one-on-one, or is it done through a seminar setting, or how's the initial contact with somebody going to be?
Great question. The majority of my initial contacts is by phone.
Okay.
Referrals or somebody, they told me to call you. I used to be a pharmaceutical consultant. Don't hold it against me. I used to work for Pfizer, and I get referrals from physicians' offices, and they know I'm doing helping people with Medicare. I'll get a phone call. Most 80% of my contacts and my evaluations is in the comfort of my customer's home. They just call me. We spend about 15, 20 minutes. I go through the needs assessment, and we figure it out over the phone. And then I like doing a face-to-face because I want to show them the benefits on paper, and we either do that at the office, the agency office, or their home. I can do house calls, or a neutral place like a coffee shop or a restaurant.
Great information as always. If you want to meet Joe Palacio, give me a call, 800-306-1990. We will put you in touch and get that assessment done. Make sure you're getting what's right for you, for your family. That is not a one-size-fits-all. And be sure to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun, have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.